press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello dear children, I am here with you with the remaining part of the poem Justice. So in the previous class we have completed the very first stanza. So look at the second stanza. Before going to that, I just revise you about the previous class. So Justice, this present poem, it is written by a well-known poet, a bilingual poet, Praveen Kumar, who was born on 29th of June 1949 in Mangalore to Srimati B. Sarojini and Sri R.D. Suvarna. And I have told you, Praveen Kumar, he was a bilingual poet. Bilingual poet means a poet who has a mastery over 2 languages. He has contributed in 2 languages, that is English and Hindi. Basically, Praveen Kumar, he was a senior police officer. He has more than 3 decades, means 30 years of service, being a government employee, being a senior police officer. He was very much interested in the matters of government and its administration. And he has written 23 published collections, and he was an author of 5 volumes on matters of governance and its administration. And moreover, he has been a regular contributor to many of the national dailies, magazines and also periodicals. So his articles in the Deccan Herald, in many of the very famous national newspapers, his articles have been published, and his articles, those have been very popular and often sensational because of its very unorthodox thoughts and also the innovative thoughts. And he has written his work in English, such as Indian Police, Policing the Police, Policing for the New Age and Inside India. And his Kannada works are Divya Bedaku, Bhavana, Priya Chaitra Tapaswini, Ananya Priya Lavanya, Priya Geetegalu and Tapaswini. And here in the present poem, Justice, the poet was very much concerned about the present status of justice. The whole poem, it tells us about the justice and its status. Actually, we can see nowadays justice, it is lost from the present day administration. And the poem of course is a beautiful and an insightful poem which gives a great message to the entire humankind. Okay. So the first stanza, in the first stanza you have come to know that justice, if it is achieved or got through any exchange, what it is? It is not at all a justice, it is simply a trade. And the justice, if it is in reality, if we are selling it or if we are buying it in exchange, it is not a justice, it is a trade. And if a person does that trade, means it is really a painful loss to him. Justice got through exchange is in reality a painful loss to the people. And the poet says, justice, it is every individual's right. What it is? It is an inherent right. So the first stanza, it told us about the status of justice. The entire poem, it tells us about the status of justice. But in the first stanza, the poet said that nowadays many people, greedy people, they have transformed the greatest human value, that is justice, into a trade. If it is earned or it is achieved through exchange, it is simply a trade, it is not at all a justice. And in that trade, a person will gain the profit. What type of profit he will gain? He will gain a distressing gain. He will gain a dishonest profit, but it is actually a loss to that person. What he will lose? He will lose his value and he will gain the profit. And at last the poet said that justice, it is inherent right. Justice, it is every individual's right. It should be very free and fair. And I have told you in the previous class, it should be like a gentle rain from the heaven. It should be very natural. How it rains from the heaven. In the same way, in everyone, we should find justice. Everyone should give justice. Everyone has the inherent right to get the justice. This is what about previous class. Look at the second stanza of the poem. Though wrapped in black packs, in dark hall of rays, for survival, like gold streams bound in mud till exploited. So very beautiful poem, and the poet has used many of the figures of speech here to compare. So he is comparing justice with many non-living things, with many animals, only to stress the helplessness of justice. So the second stanza, it completely tells us about helplessness of justice. Usually what we do is we compare justice to a woman, right? To a woman, Nyaya Devate, right? Even our country, we compare our country to a woman, Bharata Mate, Nyaya Devate, like that. So here poet says, though wrapped in black packs. What is wrapped here? Wrapped means covered. So what is covered in black packs? So pack means many greedy people, cruel people, they have covered, they have wrapped justice in black packs. Kappu patti, kappu ಬಟ್ಟೆಯಿಂದ ಅವಳನ್ನ ಕಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಹಾಲ್ ಆಫ್ ರೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವೇ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಸರ್ವೈವಿಂಗ್, ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಸರ್ವೈವಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಹಾಲ್. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಲೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಹರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ ಹಾಲ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್, not all but some of the cruel people, they have tied the black packs. Usually we can see in the courts the the justice goddess Nyaya Devate. So what the people used to do, they used to tie the black pack to her eyes. It suggests that what it indicates is justice is impartial and she is holding a weight like that. Kayalli takdi kottirtare. So what it indicates, justice should be equal. Near her, whoever should be, either he may be a wealthy person or he may be a poor person, whoever he may be, justice, the black pack, what it indicates that justice is impartial, and that weight, takadi, what it indicates, justice is equal to all. So here the people, what they have done is they have covered her with the black packs and they have left her in the dark hall and she is surviving there. So survival means continue to live. She is existing, she is leading her life, continue to live. She is continuing her life in the dark hall. Okay, imagine yourself in the dark hall. So someone has tied you with the black pack and you are completely covered with the black packs and you have left in the dark hall. Well, how will be the situation? Your situation will be very, very helpless, right? You do not know where to go, how to live, and you feel very suffocative. ತುಂಬ ಉಸಿರು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನವೇಡೇಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಡೇ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ ದ TV channels. We used to see many of the people, many of the politicians, not all, I am not telling all, but some of the greedy people, what they used to do is they are doing corruption. They are exploiting the government, they are exploiting the administration. What we say, ಶೋಷಣೆ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರ ದುರಾಸೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಶೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ justice in the dark hall and there she is leading her life. Like gold strings bound in mud till exploited. See here, observe the sentence there. The poet has used simile there. As I have already told you, simile means it is a figure of speech in which two different things, two different objects or two different persons are compared taking one thing in common, having at least one feature in common. So here the poet has compared justice to gold strains. Gold strain means chinnada gani. So it is very precious, right? Gold it is very precious. In the same way, justice, she is like gold. She is very precious. How the gold is extracted? The gold is extracted from the earth, right? By beating the large stones, and those stones will be converted into water, small powder, small particles, and after that they will extract the gold from that earth, right? In the same way, nowadays it is not easy for the people to get the justice. Justice, no, she is like gold strains bound in mud. Bound means surrounded. So how she is? She is surrounded completely with the mud. What we have to do is we have to exploit her. Observe, the one more word is there. Exploit. Exploit means unearth. So actual meaning of exploit is shoshisu. Right, in Kannada we say shoshisu. Okay. So here what you have to take, exploit means unearth. We have to unearth justice nowadays. How we extract the gold from the earth, it is really a very hard task. It is very, very difficult task. Extracting the gold from the earth, it is difficult task. In the same way, justice nowadays, it's her position. She is lacking. It is not at all an easy way to get the justice very easily. So justice, even though she is very precious, she has become very precious like gold strains. And how the gold strains will be? It will be surrounded with the mud, bound in the mud, and we have to exploit it. In the same way, justice, she is like gold strains and she is surrounded with the mud, and we people, we have to unearth her. So the second stanza, whole stanza, it conveys, it tells us about the helplessness of justice. Along with that, there is no easy way to get the justice nowadays. It is telling. Okay. Look at the third stanza. She is cool like ice and still like rock. No easy road to charm her soul, while hardship makes her no more justice. See, she is cool like ice. Observe the pronoun there. She is cool like ice. Okay, this is one sentence. And still like rock, right? So here she, it is the pronoun, right? She is the pronoun and she indicates here to justice. As I have already told you, justice, we compare justice to a woman, Nyaya Devate. Here she refers to justice. Justice, she is cool like ice. Justice is compared to ice. Actually, these two are different things, but one common feature is that coolness. Okay, ice, what it is having? It is having the feature of coolness. In the same way, justice, no, even though many people, many greedy and cruel people, they are exploiting her, they are corrupting her for their greediness, for their personal gain and selfishness, then also justice, she is cool like ice. She is tolerating everything done by the human beings. Okay, and she is cool like ice. Example, we compare, see how she is very cool. She is cool like ice. Even though it is happening like this, even though many things are happening around her, she is cool like ice. ಎಷ್ಟು ತಣ್ಣು ಕುಂತಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ನೋಡು, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ, ತಣ್ಣಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. So what she is doing? She is not at all reacting on anything. She is cool like ice. Even though people, what they have done? They have made her to be helpless. They are exploiting her. They are corrupting her. Then also she is cool like ice. And I have told you, nowadays we are watching in the televisions, that the people, how they are corrupting. We will be in that position that we are not able to judge anything, who is justful and who is not justful. In that way it has happened, right? So the next sentence, still like rock. So rock, it is what it is having the feature, it is having the feature of hardness. Even though she is what she is doing, even though many people are throwing stones on her, they are trying to exploit her, they are trying to split her, then also how she is still like rock. Kallina tara, rock means it's a big rock, doddu bande kal tara gattiyagidale, strong. She is very very strong, she is still like rock. So here in the third stanza the poet has used two similes, that is, justice is cool like ice, and still she is like a rock. So ice we can break it, but here she is like rock. She is cool like ice and she is like rock. How she is cool? She is cool even though many people are throwing stones on her, or they are making her to be very very helpless, then also she is tolerating. Okay, and she is like a rock. How means she is very strong. Here she is very very what we can say, she has a lot of potentiality, stamina and strength. She is tolerating everything like a rock. We can't break the big rock very easily. In that way, justice, she is like rock. No easy road to charm her soul, while hardship makes her no more justice. Very beautiful line. There is no easy ways. Obviously we can see in the courts many of the cases are at pending, even though they are struggling, many people are struggling to get the justice. What they are getting, they are not at all getting any justice. In the courts we have seen from the past 15 to 20 years, the case it will be going on, simply it will be going on, and there is no more justice, right? And there is no easy way. So here the poet says that no easy road to charm. Charm means attract. So there is no easy way to attract her soul. In Kannada we say, ಅವಳ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. There is no easy road, there is no easy way. ಸುಲಭವಾದ ದಾರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಯ ದೇವತೆನ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದು, ನ್ಯಾಯನ ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. There is no easy road to attract the soul of justice, while hardship makes her no more justice. Even though many people are struggling, they are suffering severely. Hardship means severe suffering. They are suffering severely, then also there is no more justice. So poor people, they are not at all getting any justice. Many people, they are stretching their hands to get the justice. They are stretching their hands towards to get the justice, even though there is no more justice. So the poet, he is very much concerned. So here he says, many people stretch their hands to reach the justice, but justice, what it is doing? It is disappearing. It disappeared. Okay, have you understood the third stanza? Okay, let's move to the next. Why justice is shackled to greed and bribe? Why justice is fished out from popular mood, lost in thick jungle of lightless night, like rat caught in the sack of dirt. So again the fourth stanza, no, it tells us about the helplessness, the innocence, the helplessness of justice. So here the poet, he is asking question to the reader. Why the people, they have shackled justice for their greed and bribe. So greed means, you all know what it is, durase. Bribe means lancha. So it's money or anything taken from the people to do the work, right? So here the poet, he is asking a question, why justice is shackled. Shackled means chained. So when we chain something, what it will become? It will become helpless. For example, if I chain the animal, if I chain the animal, it will be what? Helpless, and it can't move here and there. In the same way, people, they have shackled justice for their greed and bribe. ಅವರ ದುರಾಸೆ, ಲಂಚದ ಆಸೆ, ದುರಾಸೆ, ಕೆಟ್ಟತನ, ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥದಿಂದ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರ್ಯಾಪ್ಡ್, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಶಾಕಲ್ಡ್, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಚೈನ್ಡ್ ದ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ with their greed and bribe. Why justice is fished out from popular mood? So, popular mood means it's a good status of mind. For example, you say, I don't have mood to do the work now, right? Mood means it's a good status of mind. So here the poet again asks a question that why people are taking justice from her popular mood. So observe the word there, fished out. Fished out means pulled out. Pull means ಎಳೆಯೋದು, right? Why people are pulling her away from her good status of mind? Actually, justice, she is very good and she has the popular mood, she has the good status of mind to give justice to everyone, to give justice very equally. But the people, the wealthy people, the very influential people, not all, but some of the influential people, what they are doing, they are fishing out justice from her good status of mind. ನ್ಯಾಯ ದೇವತೆಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಿದೆ. ಆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನ ತುಂಬ ದುರಾಸೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿದ ಅಂತ ಜನರು ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್. ವೈ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ fished out, why justice is pulled out from her good status of mind. Lost in thick jungle of lightless night, like rat caught in the sack of death. Again, there is an usage of simile. So, now how it has become is justice, she is lost. Where she is lost? She is lost in the thick jungle. Thick jungle means very deep forest and there is completely darkness and it is a lightless night. So how the position of justice will be? Imagine yourself in the deep forest, in the thick jungle of lightless night. So how you will be? You will be afraid, scared, helpless, and you are afraid of many wild animals, many ghosts, devils, like that. Here we can compare who are exploiting the justice, we can say them as wild animals. Justice here, she is lost in this present modern world because of the present day administration and she is afraid of the wild animals. Who are the wild animals here? The cruel people are considered here as wild animals, devils and ghosts. I have told you, if you will be in the thick jungle of lightless night, you will be afraid of wild animals, devils, ghosts and that complete darkness. Here also justice, she is lost. Where she is lost? In this thick jungle, in this present world, modern world, and she is afraid of many wild animals and she is helpless. Okay, and she is like a rat caught in the sack of death. Observe the word sack there. Sack means a large bag. Sack means a large bag. So in the homes you will put a bone to catch the rat, and once if it is caged in that bone means how it will become? It will roam here and there to protect its life, right? Here the poet says justice, she is like rat. How it will be caught in the sack of death, right? How, what will you do? If you catch the rat means you will take that rat and you will leave it for some other place, right? In this way here justice is also compared to a rat, right? And what feature they have taken, he has taken there? The helplessness. rat, it will be helpless when it will caught in the bag of death. In the same way, justice nowadays, she is at the door of death. She is lying on the death's bed. And she is like a rat and she is caught in the bag of death. Which is the bag here we can say our this present modern word it is itself is a bag of death here. For whom? For justice. Okay. Look at the last stanza. Like deer caught in lion's lair, she never reaches self by herself. Justice with no heart for truth, justice with no dash for right cause, is justice dead indeed. See, again in the last stanza the poet uses a simile there. So, justice, she is like a deer. Simile. So, justice is compared to deer. Actually, those two are different, but here only one thing it is common, that is helplessness. Deer, when it will be caught in the lion's lair, lair means lion's resting place. Lair means resting place. So, den, right. So, when the deer it is caught in the lion's lair, lion's den, how it will be? Will it be happy? Yes? No. It will be afraid. Now I will die. I will die in this hands of that wild animal, that is lion. In the same way, justice, she is like a deer, she is caught. Observe the word caught there. Caught is the past form of the word catch. Catch, caught, caught, catching. Verb first form and verb the second form. She is like deer caught in the lion's resting place. She never reaches self by herself. So, in the second line, the poet uses personification. So, in the grammar class, I will deal with the figures of speech. Here, you just learn what it is. Okay. Personification, I have told you about simile. Simile means comparing two things, two objects or two different persons having at least one thing in common using the words as like. Personification, now I have told, it is the third figure of speech. So, this year, throughout this year, you are coming to know about three figures of speech, that is simile, metaphor, personification. Now, here in the last stanza, the second line, it is an example for personification. Personification means filling the life in non-living things, inanimate objects and abstract notions and describing them as having life. ಏನು personification ಅಂದರೆ ಜೀವ ಇರುವಂತಹ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ವಿಷಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಜೀವ ತುಂಬಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು personification ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Example, the poet, many of the poets, what they use is in poetry to enrich the language, they just fill the life in many non-living things. For example, we can say the ocean is dancing. Actually, ocean, it is not able to dance, but in the poet's imagination, he feels like that. Looking the beauty of the sea, looking the beauty of the ocean, he feels like ocean is dancing. There, ocean is personified. We attribute the qualities of a human being in the non-living things. Okay. So, I will deal with this topic in the separate class. Now, you just note there, she never reaches self by herself. She means here justice. Justice never reaches justice through justice itself. In Kannada, we can say, ನ್ಯಾಯ ದೇವತೆಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಟಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೈಗೆ ಎಟಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. So here justice, she doesn't have any hand to reach, right? Here she is personified, then that line is an example for personification. So what does that second line, it says justice never reaches justice by justice itself. ನ್ಯಾಯ ದೇವತೆಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾಗಿ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಟಕ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ದೊರಿತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ example we can say nowadays justice being justice, what she has to do, she has to give justice to everyone. Unfortunately for her only there is no more justice. Okay, justice with no heart for truth, justice with no dash for right cause is justice dead indeed. So what the poet he is feeling, nowadays justice she has no heart for truth, ನ್ಯಾಯದ ಕಡೆ ಸತ್ಯದ ಕಡೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. She doesn't have any heart for truth and she is not struggling for the right cause. Observe the word dash there. Dash means race, or you can take as here struggle. Actually in the race what we do, we struggle to win. Race, in race what we do, we struggle to win, we strive hard to win. So here also justice, she has no heart for telling the truth. She is not making any struggle for the right cause. Right cause means sariyada karana. For the right cause she is not struggling, and the poet ends the poem in a doubt that is justice dead indeed. Indeed means truly. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸತ್ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ, ಸತ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಾ? So is justice dead indeed? So is justice dead truly or really? Because the poet in the whole poem he is describing about the helplessness of justice. She is completely afraid and she is feeling suffocative, and she is very what we can say, she is at the door of the death, she is lying on the death's bed, and at last the poet concludes saying that is justice dead indeed. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇಂಥ ಜನರ ನಡುವೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕಳೆದೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆನಾ, ಸತ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ಪೋಯೆಟು ಪೋಯಮ್ನ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So this is what the poem, and I have told you the poem, it's all about the present status of justice, how justice it is lost from the present day administration. So being the responsible citizens of the country, what we have to do, you and we and all of us, we educated people, we people, what we have to do, we have to strive hard for the justice. We should be very justful in every work, You people, now you are what you are in your school days, and in the future what you will become a very responsible citizen. Now also you are so responsible. In the future you will secure one job and you will do work, and in that position how you should be very justful. You should make justice should be given to everyone very naturally. Everyone should get justice naturally. It should be like an oxygen for everyone. How oxygen is important, how the air is available, in the same way justice should be available everywhere. So we people, we have to do like that. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Let's meet in the next session. Okay, thank you.